What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to break down what I do forecast to happen for the remainder of this year for NIO. Now, before I break anything down, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, taking none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire new community as a whole. So anyways, guys, I want to get on with the video. Before I start, though, I want to also mention that I really appreciate all the kind words that everyone, or the large majority of people, sent on the comments. It was very helpful for me, and it was very kind for all the amazing messages. I just wanted to note that I'm feeling much better now. I'm just not going to talk for way too long just to give myself a little bit more rest. I will be releasing a video on Christmas, a very short one, and then a more in-depth video for Monday, which is right before the market opens on Tuesday. Because remember, the market's going to be closed on Monday, all right? And that's going to be because of Christmas. Obviously, Christmas is going to be on a Sunday, so the market's not going to be open anyways on a Sunday, so they're going to close it as well on Monday for the Christmas holiday. Now, because of that, like I said before, Monday I'll release another video, and today I'm just going to be very brief with what I talk about. So what I'm essentially seeing on NIO is it's not looking great or good for the bulls. Okay, we were basically, the last time I spoke about, I was talking about how we were curling on the top here, forming a bridge like pattern, and then I was looking at all these gaps and the very bearish looking signals we were getting from SPY, the bullish signals on the VIX that actually formed back then. If you guys noticed, the VIX was already starting to pump back then during this time frame too. And I mentioned to everyone that I expected more downside for NIO, and I told you that NIO would likely fall to the tens, and that is precisely what happened so far. Now, looking at the chart, there's a clear downtrend because of the fact that when we look at the chart here, there is this channel, right? NIO was just stuck between support and resistance here, and what happened was we broke support around 11.95. Then we came all the way down, and the new major support was around 10.5. And notice how NIO is just stuck between this range. It's very similar, but the overall resistance is starting to decline. NIO is slowly getting weaker. It's very unfortunate, but it is the truth. It's also worth noting that, Tesla was taking a big hit too, getting hit with negative news after negative news. And we're also starting to see, cases in China for the virus starting to go up. That's also not a good sign. So it's a mix of different factors that are affecting NIO. But I do believe the macroeconomic situation that will affect the overall market will cause pain for the markets and for NIO investors going into 2023. But before the pain starts, there could be one last rally. All right. And there are going to be lots of sellers, also some buyers for the end of the year. Lots of people start selling during that time frame because of the fact that they need to secure profits and for the tax season. So it's going to be very interesting, especially the last trading day of the year, which is going to be December 30th, which is exactly 1 week from now. So what I think is going to happen is, looking at SPY, there's actually some potential for some nice upside, because you could look at this from an Elliott wave perspective. You guys could see we had this falling wedge like pattern, a nice break to the upside. We had this unexpected big drop to about this 374 area. We had a gap around there, or very close to it, I think, like on the 4 hour. So yeah, there was a gap very close to about, it was very close to this range, and NIO did fill that gap. And then after that, we got a really nice bounce. And so far, we actually closed very close to 383. So we got some buyers stepping in. Now, does this does this mean we're gonna have like a Santa rally? My answer to that is not necessarily. I don't think the market's gonna pump crazy hard or like to the same degree as a typical Santa rally, but there is some potential for there to be a mini, a mini rally. It's not going to be a typical Santa rally, but a small one. It is still very possible. And that's because of the fact that we did start to show nice strength after we hit 374. From there, it's just been straight up upside for the most part. The market's been performing a lot better. We also formed a bullish triangle right here. So in my opinion, the way things are looking, I wouldn't be surprised if SPY does continue to push. Maybe it trades sideways a bit, but then we keep going for this gap fill, 385. And my previous target, as I mentioned in my previous video, was to see this thing hit 390. I'm not sure if it's not going to happen until January or if it could happen next week, but there is some upside potential. And don't get your hopes up because of it. Because looking at the descending broadening wedge on SPY, I know this chart's kind of messy, but we got rejected off resistance. So yes, if there's a little pump back up here or back up here in this zone right here, it's going to be the moment the shorts start piling in. This is all they're doing, okay? Because they had a shorting opportunity here. We came down. Then we had, I think, like CPI came out. It was much better than expected. Market pumps, shorts start shorting way up here. All right. We come down here. There was some profit taking right here. Maybe if the market comes down again, I would anticipate more profit taking, followed by a nice relief rally back to 390 or so. 390, 391, who knows how high it's going to be, but around 390, that could still happen. And then back at 390, the shorts are going to come back. They're going to start shorting hard because when 2023 comes, we're going to see the market crash to start off the year. That's how what I believe is going to happen. And unfortunately, I believe this is going to drag down the markets. I don't think Tesla has found its bottom yet. I think NIO is going to come back down to these low levels. The low 10s are going to come, not to mention the 9s. Okay, and if it's really bad, NIO could even break below that. I know it's unfortunate, but it is the truth. But there's good news because NIO has a gap up here. We know NIO likes to go for these gap fills. NIO could come back to the 11s if SPY rallies, if the market rallies. NIO also got very tight right here. It could come back to the 11s and just kind of hang out between 11.3 and 10.97 around that support area. We could see NIO hang out up here sometime next week. And I do believe it's going to follow the market. Once the market collapses, NIO's support at 10.5 is going to get broken and we're going to see NIO tumble, unfortunately. So I want you all to be prepared for pain for 2023, maybe a little bit earlier. But before the pain comes, there could be just one last push to the upside for the year. And we might see NIO hang out in the 11s one last time for the year. All right. And by 11s, I mean like 11.3 to 11.6. The gap gets filled up here one last time for the year before the real pain starts. All right. That's essentially what I have for this video. Thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great rest of the day. I'll see you guys again on Christmas Day for a short update. And then I'll have a much longer, more in-depth update on Monday. And remember, the market's going to be closed on Monday for Christmas. All right. So take care, guys. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. I'm sure you guys appreciate me as well. We're in this together. We never quit. And I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon because the long-term future is still incredibly bright. And peace out.